We are like the living dead, sacrificing all we have for a frozen heart and a Soulstar fight. Oh, that doesn't really work, does it? If you're looking to explore the Mega CD library, then there's one developer who consistently punches above their weight, and that's Core Design. Time and time again they prove how well they know the system and how to get the best performance and visuals from it, while also creating engaging software. And by the time Soulstar rolled around in September 1994, they were firing on all cylinders. Soulstar is actually the penultimate game the studio developed for the Mega CD. See our video on BC Racers for a look at their final Mega CD game. Soulstar makes use of everything the Mega CD can offer. We've got sprite scaling, we've got rotation effects, we've got a wonderfully cinematic CD quality soundtrack by Core Design faithful Nathan McCree, and we've got video sequences out the wazoo. What's even better is this is a Mega CD exclusive, so we get a game fully untethered by the limitations of the Mega Drive, as is the case for so much of the Mega CD library, which tends to be enhanced versions of older Mega Drive titles. Being a third-person shooter set in space, you can pretty much guess what the story is here. An alien race called the Mercoids have made their way into our solar system and are draining every planet for its resources, and it's up to us to single-handedly fly a spaceship into their ranks and shoot them all dead. The game mixes up its on-rails, behind-the-ship shooting gallery action by giving the player more three-dimensional movement in the boss stages, which normally take places in arenas that really get to show off the rotation effects of the Mega CD. The on-rail stages are no visual slouch either, with some of the most impressive scaling effects I've ever seen on the system, and they give a wonderful sense of scale as you slowly approach these massive space stations and fly directly into their guts. It's really impressive stuff for a console game in 1994. But what about the actual gameplay? Soulstar gives you a surprisingly deep arsenal of weaponry to use. You fire using the A button, and you can switch between weapons with B. Additional weapons and ammunition can be collected from defeated enemies. You also have limited use of a pair of options called RAM, which can be used to triple your firepower for a short amount of time. You also have a devastating smart bomb-like torpedo that's always worth saving for the boss to inflict some massive damage, like you'd want to do on a giant enemy crab for instance. There's one final ability that becomes accessible in the free roaming arena battles, and that's mapped to the C button. Hold that in conjunction with the D-pad and you can change the elevation of your ship. That's a fairly deep set of controls for a game that is largely about shooting aliens and avoiding getting shot yourself, and it helps keep the game tense and pretty involved. I'd say it probably gets a bit too involved in the boss battles, with the first demanding you defeat an enemy computer surrounded by gun emplacements, shoot the locks off two devices that generate a warp gate, and then land your ship at the opposite end of a runway that leads to the warp gate, all under intense enemy fire. This sort of intensity during the first boss of the game feels like it may have been mandated from higher up to stop players from completing the game during a rental, as was so common with games of this era. Regardless, I think Soulstar is Core Design's magnum opus when it comes to software they developed for the Mega CD. Its stunning presentation and simple to learn but difficult to master gameplay makes for a deeply engrossing space shooter in the mould of something like Galaxy Force 2, and it is definitely high up the list of Mega CD exclusives that are absolutely worth experiencing one way or another.